Are you a new owner and you feel completely overwhelmed by your camper? Hi, I'm Jenn Grover, and on this week's episode of Tab Talk, I'm going to address a message I received from somebody expressing exactly that. And I'm going to answer her questions as well as give some suggestions that might be helpful. Stay tuned to this week's episode of Tab Talk. Hi, thanks for stopping by the channel. If you find this or other content I've made helpful, I really would appreciate it if you'd hit the subscribe button and click the little bell to be notified when I post new content. Also, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. I'm going to read this message that I received this week. First of all, I did ask this person's permission to read her message, and she said it was fine. I am changing her name and her age to protect the innocent, but I think it may resonate with some of you. I bought my 2022 Tab 400 Boondock just a few months ago. I'm 45 and not mechanical at all. I can barely change a light bulb. I'm on my first camping trip and feeling very overwhelmed and discouraged. I'm considering selling my Tab if I should actually make it back home in one piece next weekend as planned. Have you always been mechanically inclined? How old were you when you first started the RV life? Do you think there is any hope for me learning to maintain my Tab, or is it reasonable to think that I can just hire someone to fix all the things that will go wrong? I always just used to rely on my husband to do everything, and now I rely on my landlord. I feel so incompetent and very foolish for having bought this without realizing that I should at least know how to change a fuse. It is so complicated, I don't even understand the directions people give me. The Facebook group is very helpful, but I don't think I can do it, and it sure makes me sad to part with this cute little thing. Any words of wisdom? First, let me say, you're not alone, and you aren't the first person who's felt overwhelmed. You shouldn't feel discouraged, you shouldn't compare yourself to other people, and most of all, don't lose hope. Many people of all ages begin with zero knowledge about a Tab, have zero mechanical interest or inclination, and camp many nights every year successfully and happily. I do have a few tips that might help you acclimate to your Tab a little easier. The first tip is, if possible, find other Tab owners to camp with. There are many regional camping groups. There's a Northeast Tab, a Southeast Tab group, a Southwest Tab group, a Midwest Tab group, Ohio and PA. I know there's an East meets West group in Washington State, and I believe a Northern California Tabs group. I'm probably missing some. I know even in Western Canada, they do a meetup once a year. So look for people who are like-minded. That may require you to travel, but it's well worth it, trust me. Another option is to go to one of Mandy Lee and Kendrick's rallies. They are not only informative, and you'll learn a lot from the people there, but you'll also find them filled with lots of fun activities, and you'll meet a lot of really great people. Another place to look for new Tab owners is at UCamp. Now that's once a year. It's a little late this year to sign up for UCamp. If you're interested in that, if you Google UCamp, you can find the website and sign up for emails, and you'll be on the list to get notifications when registration opens next year. The last thing I want to mention is that New Camp has actually started offering a course for new owners. It's held in Sugar Creek, Ohio. Now, I realize that's not feasible for everybody, but if you can make the drive, you'll get a full day of instruction, including some hands-on training. You'll also get to interact with their wonderful staff and meet other owners just like you. Now, at this point, you might be saying, that's all well and good, but I live in Idaho, and there isn't a group I can get to. The Washington group is too far away, or I just can't wait that long for a class in Sugar Creek, Ohio, so what can I do? Well, one piece of advice I love to give new owners is that you don't have to do everything all at once. Pick one component and learn to use that component. Maybe it's in your driveway, maybe it's in a friend's driveway. Maybe you take your trailer out for the day and you practice backing up in an empty parking lot with cones. maybe you take it camping for the weekend and you use the campground facilities for bathroom and showering, and you don't deal with the water at all. Maybe you're just learning to use the air conditioning. But take it slow. Use one thing at a time. You don't have to use everything at once. When you slow things down, and that's exactly what you're doing when you learn one thing at a time, it gives you perspective. It allows you to really become comfortable with something, to ask questions without being exhausted or frustrated or confused. So I highly recommend just learning one thing at a time. That might mean at home. So maybe you just practice hooking and unhooking your camper 10 times. I find repetition helps things stick in my brain. Break it down, make a list for yourself, like hooking and unhooking your trailer, hooking and unhooking the water. Practice going from city water to filling your freshwater tank. Next, practice your tanks. Fill it all up with clear water. Nothing says you have to actually use it. So if you make a mistake, you're dealing with clean water. So you're practicing the tanks. Another time, maybe you're practicing in your driveway or in a parking lot where you're watching TV and running the fan, and you're getting a feel for how much battery you can use without being connected to shore power. Maybe spend the night in your camper, in your driveway, or at a friend's house, or at a nearby campground. But keep it simple. Another piece of advice, sometimes people try to go on big, huge trips right away before they really learn to use their camper. I know I did, and it's a miracle I made it. But if you can just camp locally and close to home, and maybe even close to your dealer, so if you have problems, it'll be a big, huge help for you. Now, I'm going to make a plug for my other videos because some of you, this may be the first time you're coming across my videos. I do have other videos that help you learn to do things on a smaller scale. And it will take you some time to go through them, but it's well worth it because we're looking at just one segment of your trailer's use in many of those videos. So if you haven't, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Click the like button if you find this helpful, but go through my videos on my channel, and I think you'll learn a few things if you're brand new to your camper. And even though my videos are geared for the Tab 320, I think that you'll find a lot of it also applies to a Tab 400 or even a non-Tab trailer, a Tag or another brand. So go ahead and subscribe, click through the videos, and I think that will also be helpful. If you're willing to learn and be persistent, you can keep your Tab. You don't have to be mechanically inclined. You don't even have to be the world's most awesome problem solver. You have to be willing to be patient and maybe not get instant fixes to your issue. So if something isn't working in your camper and you're at a campground, you don't have access to an RV tech, maybe if you're not a troubleshooting person, getting help from a Facebook group, because that can be overwhelming. People can give you answers that you don't understand. Maybe wait till you get back and take it to your dealer and work out some time to talk to them about your problem. And yes, you can hire somebody to do all your maintenance and repairs. You should schedule maintenance annually anyway, whether you do it yourself or whether you're hiring somebody else. You want to make sure you're keeping up with the tires, the seals, the caulking, and things like that. One thing I found helpful is that when you first get a trailer, don't expect things to go flawlessly, because they won't. When I was brand new, I expected something to go wrong almost every day. It didn't, so I was pleasantly surprised when it didn't. But as you get better at using your trailer, you'll find that you have to expect that less frequently. But even now, I still look and think, what could go wrong? And when something goes wrong, I think, oh, there it is. That's that thing I knew that would go wrong, even though I didn't know exactly what it would be. Remember, when you camp, it's for your own benefit. It's not for others. So if you don't do things exactly the way other people do, or if you make a mistake, who cares? It's about you having the access to enjoy nature and to go the places that you want to go. Just be careful, be slow, and have realistic expectations about what will and will not happen when you travel. If you're traveling, you should expect for things to go wrong. And when they do, instead of getting flustered, take a pause, take stock of the situation, and think, what do I actually need to do right now? Do I need to solve this problem today, or could it wait? Can I call somebody like my salesperson? Will they be able to help me at my dealer? If I bought it used, is there somebody else I could call? Can I post a question in the Facebook group? If you're not getting answers from the Facebook group and you don't have a dealer available to help you, another option can be to hire a mobile RV tech. They can both fix things for you, they can come to where you are, and also help explain things. Now, you might be wondering, how do I find a mobile RV tech? Simply Google. That's what I do. I've had to call a mobile, actually car repair person. I needed a headlight replaced and there wasn't a dealer close. So I found a mobile automotive tech who came out. I had the light bulb and they replaced the light bulb for me. For the most part, you're going to find the people in the tab community are unusually friendly and helpful. Every once in a while, somebody gets a little cranky and snippy, but for the most part, people are so kind and willing to help a new owner because we all started somewhere. And so you shouldn't feel ashamed or embarrassed about what you don't know or the skills that you might not have. I know I didn't know anything about my camper. As a matter of fact, I knew so little that I bent the tongue jack on my trailer the day that I brought it home from the dealer. So if you've made a mistake, don't worry about it. You're not the first person and you're not the last person. As a matter of fact, I've got 3 videos that talk about the mistakes that owners make. And if you haven't watched those yet, when you're done with this one, go over to those videos. I'll put those links in the description below the video and also in the first pinned comment. What questions do you have that you'd like me to address in long form on this video in a Dear Jenn segment? Post those questions in the comments below. Send them to me via direct message on Instagram or Facebook, or using the contact form on my website. And I'll look for some questions that I think many people will benefit from and try to address those in a future Dear Jenn segment. And let me know whether I can share your name or whether you'd like me to conceal that information. I know that we'll have people watching who are no longer overwhelmed with their tab. Maybe they were originally overwhelmed or had moments of feeling overwhelmed. If that's you, would you share what that was like for you in the description below so that our dear friend can know she's not alone and that there are other people who have felt the same way, and maybe how you worked through those feelings of frustration and being overwhelmed. I'd like to thank our dear friend for sharing this question and being willing to allow me to address it via video so that others could benefit from it as well. I hope you found this helpful. If it was, hit the thumbs up button, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.